They're back my little Japanese black pine that I started from the Grow Up Bonsai Kit. Last year I'd wired up to try and give it some interest, and while the wire's still on here in late winter, I removed it shortly after this. The trunk is set into the new shape, so there's no need to keep it on any longer, or it's only going to start cutting in. So it looks kind of funky at the minute, but with time this will hopefully help it quite a lot. In April, I'm really just waiting for it to burst into life this spring. I did prune it back last year and it's responded perfectly. You can see here that there are loads of buds just waiting for spring. That is exactly what you want to see. It looks like it's starting to wake up in May. And while this might be a good time to repot, I'm not going to. Even though it really looks like I'm about to do it here. What I'm actually doing is just removing the top layer of moss, as it was growing like crazy and getting dangerously close to the trunk. And while I sometimes don't really care about that with a lot of my trees, as is my only pine, I've decided I want to care. So I'm just going to scrape that off and that's about it. Although while I have it here, I may as well have a look at the roots just to see what's going on. They look really healthy, and there is a lot of them, but I think I can get away with it for another year. Pines are usually okay being a little bit tight in their pots, so it's not going to mind waiting another year. I also have a new pot for it this coming spring, which I don't have here, so that's not the reason why I was happy to wait. But everything looks good here, both the top and the bottom look very happy. So no repot, just a little tease. In June it looks like it's exploded with growth, and all those buds have extended and the new candles are about to open up, which means it's the perfect time to give it a little prune. This is exactly why pines are so different. You would think this is when you might want to leave it alone, but if you want more of the subdivision, then you have to cut away all this new growth, which is exactly what I did. I just snipped them all off. I really like that I have one of these pines now. This is actually the only pine I own, and it was the only one I got from the Grow It kit. But if you've seen any other videos on that kit, you know I got tons of birches and alders from it. But like I said, you have to deal with these very differently compared to deciduous trees, and I really like that. I also like that you can prune them and develop them at the same time. You don't have to do one or the other, you sort of have to do both. So hopefully in a few years' time this tree will be quite interesting. And here it is after, all back to looking how it did before spring. Obviously not much happening in July, but if I bring you in closer you can see where I cut and how there's buds starting to form, and there's loads of them. This is exactly why you prune them. This is how you get the subdivisions and the multiple branching. It just takes some time and plenty of pruning, but you can't build these up into bushy little trees. In August you can see some of these new shoots starting to poke out of the silhouette, which is great to see. And if I bring you in closer you can see what's going on. It's a little tricky to get in here as everything is already quite bushy and quite small. These needles are also quite spiky, which is annoying, but hopefully you can see those new shoots are doing great. There's loads of them, so it's perfect. In September it's really put on some length. I honestly thought this didn't change that much over the year, but clearly it has. This is why I like to make videos, then I can be reminded of what's actually happening. Still managed to put on more growth by October, which is very impressive. I really should have come in here and removed some of these shoots, and basically just made sure there was only 2 in one place. But I kind of forgot, but it's fine, I can do that just before spring. I'm sure it won't mind. Then obviously here it's going to be pretty much dormant now, so no change until spring. And here we are now, and of course it's still asleep. But I had a great year, so hopefully it's more of the same for this tree. Thanks for watching, see you next time.